could you give us your top 3 tips companies can do now in-house to help improve their visibility?
It's SEO.
Is that SEO or the social side or the PR side? Something relational to the web and such.
Top 3 tips.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Have I put you on the spot?
Well, you told me I was going to get this question, so I probably should have. Although I'm not preparing for the later ones, I probably should have come up with something for this one, shouldn't I? So, I think majority of businesses educate yourselves.
Okay.
Get a degree of knowledge in-house, even if you don't have dedicated people on this stuff. Read the SEO Moz Beginner's Guide. Get interested, get involved, get on. There's free conference calls, free events. Do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Because I think this is definitely a domain where knowledge is power.
Right. Sure.
I would say probably my next tip is take a look at your website, how the search engines see it.
Okay.
And I don't mean necessarily in a desperately technical kind of technical site review.
Okay.
I just mean in the sense of when people are out searching stuff, they are using keywords, what we call keywords.
Yep.
They're using words that are designed for finding things.
Yep.
And speak clearly, speak to your audience, use those words. And that is not just an SEO thing. There are far too many websites where you read the homepage and you're not really sure what the company does.
They say, readability level should be for an 11-year-old? The website?
Sounds sensible.
Yeah.
That people don't read stuff online. Right? Anybody who's ever written an error message code knows that.
Yeah.
You tell the user. We get support calls here from clients using our CMS, that kind of stuff, who say, I can't get it to do X, Y, and Z, and say, well, what does it say on the screen? It says I should press the OK button. Have you tried pressing the OK button? Oh no, I didn't think of that. Don't underestimate how little people read online. So be clearer about what you're saying.
Okay.
Then get clearer again.
Okay.
And keep getting clearer until you literally cannot get any clearer.
Right.
Words of one syllable.
Right. Okay.
And I think that the 3 pillars that I talk about a lot with our clients are the technical stuff, the content, and the authority, right? The links, basically, when it boils down to it.
Yeah.
And link building, I think as an industry, SEO has hampered itself with the word link building.
Right.
That it just means too many things.
Right.
Is link building submitting to directories and spamming forums and
is it
or is it when the CEO signs off on an announcement of a merger that somebody's thought about the wording of the press release, that somebody's thought about that, or is it that actually somebody's looked at the process that every salesperson goes through and has tweaked a step in that process that means that everything they did was getting links.
Right.
And I would say that if we're speaking to non-technical, non-SEO people, which I guess is the focus of this question, 3 things that they can do. So it was, what was my first one? Learn.
Yeah, knowledge,
Write clearly, write for your audience.
Yep, sure.
And share. Back to my answer to your very first question, we give stuff away, we give it away unashamedly, and we do it maybe even too much. But I think the more you give away, whether it be content, whether it be advice, whether it be knowledge, whether it be stuff, the more you get back, and that's the way to build the relationships that turn into the links.
Okay, fantastic. That was fantastic. Absolutely great answer. Okay, so we've got one more question.
Before the good ones, right?
Before the good ones, yeah. So what is the most exciting project you've ever worked on, and why? So
we were off camera. I was saying that I have to answer this in the most exciting. There's lots of ones under NDA that are probably. And in fact, I think I'm going to answer with one of the ones under NDA as the absolute most exciting one.
Right.
Without words.
Yeah.
Sure. Without names. So the most exciting one was the call at 6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. From Fortune 500 company.
Right.
In the middle of a PR storm about false rumours spreading on the internet from their head of crisis comms.
Right.
well, from the PR team,
Right.
the external PR guys who I knew, that was the route in, external PR guys and their, head of corporate comms.
Okay.
And yeah, that project, which lasted, I don't know, 3 days,
Right.
was probably the most exciting, because you know that everything you write is probably going to the CEO.
Right.
And
Bit of pressure.
yeah, and you're writing a lot of it on your iPhone.
Right.
I actually had a basketball game that night,
Okay.
and I had guys on the bench checking my email, and at half time I was writing my brief and stuff,
Right.
and seeing. So we gave them a piece of advice that was about getting at basically. The discussion was, should they give any credibility to this rumour by mentioning it on any of their channels?
Yep.
And obviously, big question, right? They know this rumour's out there,
Yep.
but they know that most people seeing their website, most people who follow them on Twitter, don't know about it yet.
Right. Okay.
Should they mention it or not?
Right.
And we said yes,
Great stuff.
and they did,
Okay.
and it worked out great. So,
Ace.
you know,
It's really good.
it's always fun when you see that kind of impact
Yeah.
happen as a result of your recommendations. So I think that's probably the most exciting, certainly adrenaline exciting.
Yeah, definitely. 3 days. Yeah, sure. Made you
exactly.
get much sleep over that 3 days.
Not a whole lot, but it was pretty cool, and you know it kind of worked out well, and there was all kinds of interesting interplay. Other brands were starting to get pulled into the same rumours,
Right.
and I had to phone up. I didn't have a contact at this company,
Okay.
British company, FTSE 100.
Yeah.
We uncovered in the course of the monitoring that we were doing around this US brand.
Yeah.
We'd uncovered an actual threat, a physical threat of violence against employees of a FTSE 100 company.
Wow. Okay.
And I knew nobody there.
Okay.
So I phoned up their, I think I phoned up their PR department.
Right.
Because it was a number that was available,
Yep.
you know, kind of a headquarters number that was available.
Sure.
Phoned up and tried not to sound like a lunatic
Right.
whilst describing
How
what was
did it
going
go
on.
out?
When I couldn't say that we were working for the US company
Yeah.
because we were under NDA,
Yeah.
and as soon as I mentioned what the issue was, you'd be able to work out who the company was,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
So I had to try not to sound like a lunatic whilst explaining that somebody else was making threats against them, and they should really check that out. And obviously the person who answered the phone
Yeah.
kind of thought I was a crazy person.
Right.
But I got a call back within 20 minutes from the head of security. I mean, I wasn't involved in the project, in working with them after
Sure.
that, but we handed over all the information we had, and I think they were probably already on top of it, to be honest, but it was one of those things where you feel like,
But they really appreciate
once
it,
you've
though.
seen that, you can't not make the call.
No, of course.
But equally, you're picking up the phone, you're like, how am I going to phrase this without sounding like a lunatic? So that was kind of fun. And yeah, I think there's been a couple of other examples, and unfortunately, the coolest ones are always the NDAs.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the big online retailer that runs a Boxing Day sale for the first time because you told them to.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Okay. Great.
I think it's those little anecdotes that make it fun.
Great stuff.
Actually,
Fantastic.
I guess the one that we can talk about publicly. No, actually, the details aren't. Again, never mind. Move on.
We'll keep it to NDA.
Yeah.
We'll keep it to NDA. Right. Okay.